Okay, this is Banished. I've never played it before. I don't remember buying it, but it's in my Steam library, so I must have bought it on sale and then never installed it and played it, but I don't know what it is, but we'll just have a look-see here. Tutorials. Getting started. Here we go. Getting started in this wonderful game. Welcome to Banished. In this game, you control a group of exiled travelers who decide to restart their lives in a new land. You'll have to help them survive. Press next button. Anytime during this tutorial, you can access the options menu by pressing escape. From the options menu, you can save, load, blah blah blah, basics, WASD. Try it out, yeah. Rotate with Q and E, okay. Zoom, camera, insert, and delete, or scroll. I'll just prefer to scroll, thank you very much. Change the pitch by page up and page down. I can, well, page up, page down. I don't really change the pitch much in these games. I don't mind the sharpest angle they'll give me. Okay, configured to be modified in the escape menu. Now that you're familiar with all the movements controls, it's time to start playing. The people you control need 3 things to survive: shelter, food, and a way to keep warm in the winter. You might notice that some people have this icon floating above their heads. This means that the townfolk don't have a job or place to live. You can provide the townsfolk with places to live by building homes for them. First, select the housing menu in the toolbar, or press F3. There's the toolbar, so this must be F1 through F12, 3, 6, 9, 10. Well, that's escape, so through 9, and then, okay. Okay, well, let's do that then. And then pick a house. You want me to put it there, is that it? Okay. Placing a building will leave a footprint where it is to be built. To get the townsfolk to start construction, you'll have to collect wood for the structure and stone for the foundation. Cut down trees and remove rocks from the landscape by using the destruction tools. Start by pressing that or that F9, huh? Destruction tools and go to remove resources, anything in the selected areas. Okay. Using the mouse, click one corner of the highlighted area, then drag the mouse to the other corner. Townsfolk will head to that area and start removing rocks and trees. While they are busy, you can place a stockpile where the citizens will store logs, stone, iron, firewood. Select the storage tools. Okay, storage tools. Stockpile. Using the mouse, click one corner, highlight area, blah blah blah. Okay, there's a stockpile area. Townsfolk will move the harvested rocks and trees to the stockpile. Once there are materials in the stockpile, the people will move logs and stone to construction locations. While any townsperson cut down a tree or move materials from one place to another, some jobs require specialized workers. In the case of construction, you'll need to assign builders. Okay. Assign jobs to citizens. Okay, builder. Try to assign 2 builders by pressing the up arrow next to the profession. 1, 2. Let's take it away from my laborer here. Builders can now begin construction on the house. Just one house isn't enough, though. You'll need 3 more houses to give the other families a place to live. Once again, click on the housing tool by pressing this, and click on that. Using the mouse, move the house highlighted area and press the left mouse button. You may need to rotate the house with T and R. T, R, R, T, T, R, R. Okay. The next one, boom. Next one, boom. Okay. Sometimes it takes a while for people to do the jobs you want that you have assigned, and if you're in a hurry, you can change the speed of the game. The game runs. Okay, this is similar to Empire Earth. Reminds me of Empire Earth. I love that game. Man, I love that game, but the question is there war in this game? Okay, press the fast forward button twice to increase the game speed. 5x. 5x. There we go, building away. Try getting used to modifying the game speed. You can slow down, pause, resume, and speed up the simulation. Until the houses are built, the tutorial will continue. Okay. Let's get a closer look here. Yeah, man, I miss Empire Earth. I've been wanting to get that game. I probably got to buy an old disc of it because I can't find it anywhere online to buy. If anybody knows where I can get a copy of that. But I think I'll have to buy a disc. I'll have to actually buy a disc on eBay. Because I miss that game. That game was sweet. I got an old friend of mine, we liked to play that game years ago. We're still gaming friends, and I'd like to challenge him again to that. Even though it's like a 2-hour session. And we're old men now, you know, with kids and stuff, so. Well, he has kids. I don't have kids. I think kids are stupid. Just kidding. Your kids are stupid. Alright, building away. Look at all the fun stuff happening here. Let's get a little more perspective on this situation. Okay, we got some close neighbors. Nobody wanted to build over here and have a little privacy. They all want to live next to each other. What is this? Reserve of food is low. Hopefully it'll tell me how to fix that problem. Okay, great. You build houses for all the townsfolk. It may have seemed like a lot of work for a few houses, but now you know how to build anything. To build any structure, place a building footprint. The citizens will clear the area, then collect enough resources to build the structure. As long as there are citizens assigned as builders, they'll take care of the rest. The people are going to need food, otherwise they'll starve. They can acquire food in various ways. They can hunt, gather fish, plant crops, grow orchards, raise livestock. If the people are close to starving to death, their hunger icon will appear above their heads. Since this town is near a river, the easiest way to quickly generate food is to build a fishing dock. Select food production from the toolbar. Build a dock. Most buildings that produce food or other resources require workers. You can assign fishermen in the same way that you assign builders. Jobs, fishermen. Assign 4 fishermen. 1, 2, 3, 4. You may notice this icon above some of the citizens' heads. This means that the workers you just assigned don't have a place to work. As soon as the fishing dock is complete, they'll start working there and the icon will disappear. Okay. Any window in the game can be moved around by clicking on the title on the bar here, yeah. You can also close any window by hitting the X button. Wow, it's like Windows. Wait while the fishing dock is built. Get the time tool, change the time of speed. Once the fishing dock is complete, the tutorial will continue. Okay, let's get this dock built. Can I go faster than that? I can, 10x. 10x is the max. Okay. If you build roads, people will move slightly faster as they move from place to place. Place roads by first selecting roads and bridges on the toolbar. Okay. Next, select dirt road by pressing this. Dirt road. Okay. Okay, one end of the highlighted area to the other. Okay. Go the whole length of her here. Okay. Same builders that construct buildings will prepare the road for use after they perform construction. The townsfolk will move faster when traveling on roads. Okay. Well, so far I'm liking this game. This is fun stuff. I like the, traditional homesteader kind of thing going on. Okay, anyway. As the town grows and workers produce food and other resources, From many locations, it's useful to see an overview of what the town has available. This information can be found by using the overview tool down here. Next, press the overview button, the chair. And in the overview, you can see, bring this out here, you can see the amount of stored construction materials, food, firewood, clothing, and tools. You can also see current population, average health, hearts and happiness stars, as well as current weather, yada yada. Gotcha. Okay, when food and other consumable goods are produced, they need to be stored somewhere. Until now, the people have been placing everything in the cart that they arrived with. You can now place a storage barn that can hold more. Start by selecting storage tools. Who's that? Yeah. Messages anyway. Okay, let's do that then. And select the storage barn. And let's see, where do I want to put this? Oh, it tells me where to put it. Okay. Why think? Oh. There we go. Now, if you look at the overview tool, you can see the area. There aren't enough logs left to build the storage barn. You'll have to cut down more trees for construction to continue. Okay. Select remove resources by pressing this or that. Okay. Remove resources. Trees. Select the area. Boom. People also need a way to stay warm in the winter. The easiest way to do that is to cut logs into firewood. To do this, you'll need a place for a woodcutter to work. Okay, is the woodcutter going? Okay. If the townsfolk are in danger by freezing to death, this icon will appear above their heads. They're overly cold, the people will return home and go to the closest warm building they can find. This icon will appear over the homes that don't have any firewood available for heating. Now wait while their storage barn is being built. Speed up stuff by going here. Deer, just deer hanging around. No one's harvesting. Looks like they don't fish in the rain, or they don't fish at night, or something. Fish out all the fish. Pick another spot like this area here, right there. That's where the fish are. Come on. What's we got here? Is that a pond? Oh, a big old pond. Fish in there too. Okay. Come on, storage barn. Let's do this. Okay. You can always assign workers by using the professions tool, but you can also change the number of workers when examining the details of a structure. Click on the woodcutter building to view the details. Okay, there we go, woodcutter building. Assign one woodcutter by pressing the up button. A worker will now start producing firewood. He or she will move logs from stockpiles to the building and cut them into firewood. The rest of the townsfolk will use firewood to heat their homes. Now that the storage barn is built, the cart that the people arrived with is no longer needed. You can remove it and select anything else you build, using the destruction tools. Okay. So just remove structures. The workers will remove the inventory from the cart and then move it to the storage barn. You can speed this up. Try to tear that down. Well, that was intense. Okay, it's still moving super fast. Okay. With some maintenance and a little luck, a small town like this will survive for many years. The children will grow up, become workers, and have children of their own. New houses can be built, and the town can continue to expand. If at any point you need help with something in the game or a description of how a building or tool works, you can refer to the in-game help by pressing that. Okay. You can read some of the help references or press next to play the next tutorial. It focuses on resource production and survival. Press quit to return to the main menu. So I can close any window I want by hitting the X. So, you know, come on, man. Hey, I didn't build this town. Did I? As the town grows, additional specialized buildings can help make survival easier. In this tutorial, you'll build work areas for blacksmith tutorials, herbalists, foresters. First, place a blacksmith, and blacksmiths used to make tools for the citizen to work with. Start by selecting resource production in the toolbar by pressing boom. Pow. While waiting for structures to be constructed, you can place more buildings to make construction go faster. You can speed up the game. Ah. It's going to tell me that every time, I guess, then. Next, place a tailor. Tailor used to make warm clothes for citizens. Boom. Now place an herbalist. Pow. Finally place a forester's lodge. Alright, being in place, you can speed up production by assign one blacksmith, one tailor, one candlestick maker. What's going on in my head? 2, 3, boom. Okay. Use time, speed up time, speeding it up now, speeding up time, going faster, speeding it up, speeding up time, just like I did, speeding it up. Fishing over here, what did I do there? What's this symbol anyway, huh? Okay, all workers need tools to efficiently do their jobs. If a citizen doesn't have a tool, the following icon will appear above their head. Tools eventually wear out and need to be replaced, but the blacksmith can make new tools. Click on the blacksmith building to view its details. It's this building, okay? The blacksmith will use logs and iron to make new tools. Here you can see the inventory of what the blacksmith has in storage for making tools. If you run out of materials, the blacksmith won't be able to work. You can also control how many tools to make and put in storage by setting a limit. If the building isn't producing goods, because the limit has been hit, the limit icon will appear. You can enable and disable work at the location by toggling the work button. You can also change the product that the blacksmith makes. Blacksmith produces steel tools that last longer than iron tools. Okay. And tutorial tailor. Okay, during the winter months, townsfolk stay warm by occasionally returning to their heated homes. With a tailor, you can help the workers ward off the cold and stay outside longer by crafting better clothing. The tailor can use leather, wool to make clothing, or a combination of both to make the best clothing. If you run out of the needed materials, the tailor won't be able to work. When this occurs, the following icon will appear above the building. Herbalist building. The herbalist will collect herbs from the surrounding forest and will help the townsfolk stay healthy. The yellow circle on the ground around the building shows the area that the herbalist will search for herbs. Okay, this line here. Citizens need a variety of foods to stay healthy, such as meat, vegetables, fruits, and grains. If the townsfolk are not healthy, they are more prone to diseases. Herbs collected by the herbalist can be used to help keep the townsfolk healthy if their diet is poor. Herbs usually only grow near old trees. It is something to keep in mind when you place an herbalist building. Click on the Forest Lodge. Rather than constantly clearing areas of trees to produce firewood, the workers at Forest Lodge will manage the forest for you. Workers will plant new trees and cut down old trees in an area around the building. The yellow circle on the ground around the Forest Lodge shows the area that the foresters will work in. You can enable and disable the cutting of trees. When cutting is disabled, no trees will be cut down. You can also enable and disable the planting of trees. When planting is disabled, no new saplings will be planted around the building. Foresters will also remove rock and ore that is in their work area to make room for more trees to be planted. By using these buildings, you can help make the citizens have tools, warm clothing in the winter, good health, and replenishable forests. Next, to play the next tutorial. Okay, there are many ways to produce food for the citizens of your town. Hunting, fishing, gathering can be used to harvest food from the environment. You can clear the land and plant orchards, grow crops, and raise livestock. Before food can be produced, you'll need to construct buildings to create areas for food production. Select the pasture. While the pasture is being built, you can place other buildings. A hunting cabin can be used to designate an area. Hunters should search for wild game. Hunters need either open fields or forests nearby effectively to hunt. Hunting cabin. That is T and R to flip those around. Similar to hunters, gatherers search for and collected food that is growing in the forest. Gatherers. Farmers can work in a field and grow crops. Grow crops. Let's grow some crops here. Farmers can also work in an orchard that produces fruit and nuts. This crop field is currently disabled and indicated by the following, icon. Select the crop field by clicking on it. To enable growth of crops, first you'll have to select the type of seed to plant. You can acquire more seed types by trading with merchants at the trading post. Select one of the crop types. Potatoes. You also need to assign farmers to crop to 3. In the spring, workers will plant seeds in the field, and in the autumn they'll harvest the crops. You can direct them to harvest early by selecting harvest. After planting, the yield meter will show how mature the growing plants are and can be used as a gauge to determine how much food will be produced. You can disable or enable work at the crop field by toggling the work button. Like the crop field, an orchard will be disabled until you pick the type of plant. Apples. 6 farmers. Farmers will plant trees and they will grow over time. It may take several years for the trees to produce fruit. Normally farmers will harvest fruit in the autumn, but you can direct them to harvest fruit early by pressing the harvest button. Cut down all the trees in the orchard for wood, or when you want to produce something different, produce a different type of fruit. You can disable or enable work in the orchard by toggling the work button. After planting, the yield meter will show how mature the growing fruit is. Remember that the trees need several years of growth before they produce fruit. Pasture. To enable the use of a pasture, first you have to select the type. Sheep. And we'll do 2 workers. To move all the animals from the pasture into another pasture, so you can press the empty button. If you want to, okay. To do this, you'll have to create another pasture that can hold all the animals. If you want to split the herd in order to increase the number of animals, you can press the split button. To do this, you'll have space in other pastures that can hold animals. You can disable or enable work. If there are too many animals in the pasture, the herdsman will slaughter them for meat. You can control how many animals are kept in the pasture here. Click on the hunting cabin. Hunters will search in the area around the hunting cabin in search of wild game. In addition to providing meat, hunting deer, can provide leather, which can be used by tailors to make clothes. You can disable or enable work. At any food-producing location, you can control the maximum amount of food here. Click on the Gatherer's Hut. Gatherers will search the area around the building in search of food that grows in the forest. As long as there is forest nearby, gatherers will be a good choice as a first type of food production to use in a town, as it provides a variety of foods quickly. Click on the Fishing Hut. Each building that produces goods tracks how many resources produced each year for the production. Okay, the current season shows how many resources can be produced so far during the current year. The previous season display shows how many in the previous year. As the population grows, you'll need to expand food production to keep citizens from starving. Producing a variety of food types will help keep citizens happy and healthy. It's the next button. Use the next tutorial. The trading post can be used to acquire new crop seeds, fruit seeds, livestock, food, and many other items. When the trading post has been built, different types of merchants will periodically arrive with goods to sell. The trading post has already been built for you. Click on the trading post building to view details. A trading post needs to be built on the river or on a lake that connects to a large river running through the town. If it isn't, merchants won't be able to get their boats to the trading post. Before you can make a trade with a merchant, you'll need to stock the trading post with goods you wish to sell. Any resource that has been produced by the town can be traded. Since the town has more tools and coats than it currently needs, you can stock the trading post. Set the desired number of hide coats to 100. Type in there. Yes. Okay. Iron tools to 120. Trading post needs workers, 4, and speed things up. Let's speed it up here. Pretty exciting stuff. Now that you have some inventory to trade with, click on the Trade tab to interact with the merchant. This particular merchant is selling chickens. Once you buy livestock, you can move it into the pasture where animals will produce and provide the town with food. Increase the number of chickens by 6. Okay, increase the number of iron tools and high coats to trade until the total is enough to match the total cost of the chickens. Okay, I see. I'm getting gypped a little bit on that deal. You can now see the chickens you've bought in the fenced area attached to the trading post. If you have a pasture set up for chickens, they'll move into it. Since you've made a trade, the workers will start refilling the trading post inventory. If you always want to buy a certain item from the merchant without interacting with the trading post, you can set up an automatic purchase. The purchase mode determines if and when the traders will make the trade for you. You can set the maximum number of items to purchase in several categories. Traders will buy items up to this amount as long as the trading post has enough inventory to cover the cost. If you've set more than one item to be automatically purchased, you can change the priority of which the items buy. First, by moving the categories up or down. Categories at the top of the list will be purchased first. Normally, when the merchant comes to trade, they'll have a random assortment of goods. Rather than relying on chance to acquire the items you want, you can place custom orders with merchants. The order mode determines if an order is being placed or if it is a reoccurring order. The available items a merchant can bring will be displayed. To place an order, click and highlight the items you want the merchant to bring during the next visit. Merchants have limited space in their boats, so if you order too many items at once, they may not bring them all. Items brought from a custom order will cost more than normal. Trade will be a great way to acquire items in the town is lacking and can't yet produce. This concludes the trade tutorial. Please press quit to exit to the main menu. Okay. Well, there you go. That's it. That's the game. There seems to be no war. It is not a war game. It is a city sim. So, but it's, you know, it's cool. I like the time period. You know. So, I guess that's all I got for you today. So, see you hosers later. Cheers.